Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here at the University of Calgary. My name is Jason Copping. I'm the Minister of Health, and I'm also the MLA for Calgary Varsity. Before we get started, and in the spirit of reconciliation, I would like to acknowledge that the University of Calgary is on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, which includes the First Nation tribes of the Siksika, the Piikani, the Kainai, and the Stoney Nakoda First Nation tribes of the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley, and the Tsuut'ina First Nations, and the Métis, and all people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta. And this is particularly important to recognize today because today is also Indigenous Veterans Day. And today we honor all of the Indigenous veterans who served Canada. Now, it's always great to visit the University of Calgary here in the spectacular energy, environment, experiential learning building. This is a place for innovation on campus and the perfect backdrop for today's fantastic news. Now, to get started, I'd like to invite my colleague and my friend, the Honourable Ron Orr, Minister of Culture, to speak.
So thank you very much, Minister Copping, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm here today joined by Dr. McCauley and Beth Gignac, and I'm here really today to announce our government's Creative Partnerships Initiative, and a key piece of that, specifically we're here today to recognize our new partnership with the University of Calgary and the United Way of Calgary and Area. This partnership demonstrates a new approach we are taking to build a strong nonprofit sector and to support economic recovery and diversification. The nonprofit sector truly is vital to Alberta's social, emotional, and economic recovery. When nonprofits thrive, Albertans thrive. We build vibrant local communities, and they attract people to live here, to build their businesses here, to have families here, and everyone benefits. However, traditional approaches to nonprofit funding development are no longer sufficient. The world has changed really in many, many different ways. COVID has made that very clear to us. And so we're looking for a resilient sector. We're looking for an ability to deliver vital community services in ways that people can participate in as well. The world is in transition, as I said, and that's why we're responding to stakeholders, reimagining how we support the nonprofit sector through new initiatives. That's Creative Partnerships Alberta. Creative Partnerships Alberta is an innovative and thoughtful new way of building strong and sustainable nonprofit sectors. It will spark connections, private investment in nonprofits. It will grow social enterprises and increase collaboration in finding new solutions to social challenges. We'll be adding new, interpret that more, funding approaches, mentorship for nonprofits, and social innovation opportunities. The expanded suite of tools will create an environment, an ecosystem if you want, where the nonprofit sector has more of the resources and the skills and the connections that they need to meet the needs of everyday Albertans. So I want to talk a little bit about social innovation, which is about creating new ideas, new approaches, outside of the box if you want, big or small, to address the social issues of our culture, of our province. Growing social innovation is the cornerstone of Creative Partnerships Alberta. We all know that we place a lot of priority on growing innovation in things like information technology, renewables, natural resources, agriculture, to name a few, Indigenous opportunities. We have funds to support innovation in each of those areas, but we don't very often mention social innovation, and we need to. That's what we're talking about here. Social innovators are also hard at work in our communities, and they are absolutely critical to our recovery and the strengthening of our civil society. Across Alberta, we're seeing a drive towards social innovation through new ideas, new products, services, and partnerships designed to overcome the social pressing challenges that we face. And the United Way of Calgary and area Social Impact Lab, led by Beth, who is here with us today, is a really perfect example of that happening already. It's a hub for social innovation where nonprofits can work with businesses or donors and researchers and community members to co-create new solutions and build skills to address the most challenging social issues that we face as a people. Social innovation is the way of the future. And around the world, for supporting the recovery of the nonprofit sector and building resiliency across civil society. As we develop the Creative Partnerships Initiative, we've had conversations with thought leaders from Alberta, from other jurisdictions. We learned that there's a growing desire to finance business models that actually achieve a social good, as well as just a business purpose. We call these ventures social enterprises. Our commitment to growing social innovation in Alberta begins here today with our partnership with the University of Calgary and the United Way of Calgary and area. Today, Alberta's government is investing $2 million in the USEED Social Impact Fund to support the launch and the growth of social enterprise startups, which is the first of its kind in Canada. And my congratulations to the university here and both the United Way of Calgary for being very key leaders in a first of a kind in Alberta. Great thing that's happening here. This investment is important in addressing the gap in seed funding in Alberta. And raising capital to get startups off the ground is really the challenge for social entrepreneurs. Now, the reality is it's the challenge in any kind of new venture, any kind of startup. In the tech sector, they sometimes call it the valley of death because it's such a hard challenge to get from the idea to actually being able to deliver. It's that gap, sometimes filled by angel investors, in this case, by the Social Innovation Fund, filling that gap that will help create the sustainability and the success of many of our new social ventures. The USEED Social Impact Fund, as I said, fills this gap for social good while tapping into Alberta's strong entrepreneurial spirit. This is critical for shifting our thinking towards socially purposed organizations actually being viable investments. By helping launch and grow social enterprises, these ventures will become more attractive to other investors whose capital can support their further expansion. We're also creating opportunities for social innovation beyond our big urban centers. This fund is a fantastic resource available to any socially purposed organization or entrepreneur in any community across Alberta. And we're thrilled that the Social Impact Fund anticipates investing in up to 100 social enterprises across Alberta over the next 5 years. This is great news that will make a great contribution to diversifying our economy, something that we've talked about for many years here in Alberta. Social entrepreneurs focus also on addressing pressing issues in their community, and successful social enterprises will create more jobs, more growth for local economies as well. Most importantly, these social enterprises will improve Albertans' quality of life, address social challenges, make positive changes in our communities. And I strongly believe this will inspire others to follow the pattern, to do the same, and to continue to build Alberta. The Social Impact Fund is the first of many collaborations and programs that will be rolled out under our new Creative Partnerships Alberta. It's an initiative to build a strong and sustainable nonprofit sector and to make Alberta a leader in social innovation and social finance. Alberta's government is coming to the table to bring further credibility and confidence to this work with our partners because government participation lends credibility as well. So I thank the University of Calgary, the United Way of Calgary and area, the philanthropic community for developing and supporting USEED. Alberta's government is thrilled to be collaborating with such excellent partners and with you as you expand USEED as part of Creative Partnerships Alberta. And I look forward to announcing more creative partnership collaborations, programs, and resources for building the resiliency and sustainability of Alberta's nonprofit sector in the future. So thank you for listening, and I'd like to now take the opportunity to invite Dr. Ed McCauley. I'm sure he doesn't need any introduction in this room. President of University of Calgary, please.
Thank you, Minister, and thank you, Minister Copping. What an excellent step forward for our community. When we launched USEED in June 2020, in the midst of a global pandemic, I don't think anyone could have anticipated how quickly this initiative would grow. In less than a year, USEED has expanded into 4 distinct funds, sparked over 150 innovative ideas, and pursued investment for 15 different early-stage startups to transform innovation to impact. I think this success directly reflects the level of determination and entrepreneurial thinking here in Calgary and Alberta. We launched the USEED Social Impact Fund with a generous gift of $2.5 million from the United Way of Calgary and area, just an unbelievable partnership, and support to activate the fund from Innovate Calgary, our university's knowledge transfer and business incubator. The goal was extremely ambitious. We wanted to change lives for the better in our city, in our province, and beyond. And we wanted to achieve this impact through a focus on social innovation. We've been able to create a unique partnership with the USEED Social Impact Fund, linking the strengths of a leading university, a deep-rooted community partner, and the Government of Alberta. This collaboration opens the door to an incredible range of novel and effective solutions to address key social challenges. The University of Calgary and its partnerships are about improving the world around us and having impact. And the University of Calgary has been leading the way in this space for many years. And we've seen how the entrepreneurial approach and entrepreneurial culture that helps to define the University of Calgary can open the door to highly effective, evidence-based solutions to societal issues. And when we talk about leading the way, this is leadership on the world stage. And Living Works is a great example. This is a University of Calgary spin-out company from the Faculty of Social Work, designed to provide innovative training and education to prevent suicide. To date, more than 2 million people have received training from Living Works in over 20 countries, and they've supported 90,000 life-saving interventions. This is impact. Through other initiatives such as Fab Homes, University of Calgary scholars have developed a better way to help older adults live independently and safely in our society. And through the Calgary Social Value Fund, we're giving our students the tools to apply social enterprise and innovation in their own learning. The list goes on, but every one of these examples is a source of pride, not only for our university, but for our city and for our province. And now, through the USEED Social Impact Fund, these types of startups have a source of early-stage investment that will support their growth and enable them to continue making impact in that difficult space that the Minister referred to, and often referred to as the Valley of Death. Today, we're accelerating social innovation even further with this investment from the Government of Alberta. Socially purposed and nonprofit organizations from across Alberta will have access to the USEED Social Impact Fund. So on behalf of the University of Calgary, I would like to thank Minister Orr and the Ministry of Culture and Status of Women for their support of this initiative through Creative Partnerships Alberta. I would also like to thank United Way of Calgary and area for their investment to create the USEED Social Impact Fund and to be early on investor in partnership with the University of Calgary. Thank you for sharing our vision of new and creative and effective ways to strengthen our community. I cannot wait to see what we will do together, and I look forward to continuing impact that USEED will make across our province in a variety of different areas. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, President Macaulay, and thank you to my colleague, Minister Orr. I'd now like to call upon our last speaker of the day, Beth Gignac from the United Way Calgary area, which is a key partner in the USEED Social Impact Fund.
Wow, I feel like I'm at home. And I am. I'd really love to thank Minister Orr, you and your team at Creative Partnerships Branch, Minister Copping and the Government of Alberta, on behalf of United Way Calgary and area. Dr. Macaulay, our collaboration and our partnership with you and your team here at the U of C goes back decades. And our partnership with Innovate Calgary is a new partnership, and which is why I feel at home. Everyone in this room today is contributing to the vitality and the vibrancy, not only of Calgary, but of all Alberta. And investing in this way in the Social Impact Fund here, we know that there will be many social entrepreneurs out there today who are listening, watching, reading, and envisioning new opportunities to solve the complex social issues that affect all of us. At United Way, we say, any one of us can be vulnerable at any time. And if the last 18 months have told us anything, they've told us that that is true. They've also told us that Albertans are resilient, beyond resilient, and have many great, creative, courageous ideas to help address the concerns of vulnerable populations in all of our communities. We know that through this unique collaboration and partnership with our colleagues at the Government of Alberta and here at the University of Calgary, that our philanthropists, our donors, our corporate workplace partners, our social service agency partners, together will be able to lean in to co-create and co-design new social entrepreneur and new social experiences for people in our province so that everyone can live to our motto, which is having a thriving life. And living in vibrant communities where everyone has a chance to truly live to their true potential. So we look forward to working together over these coming years and months, learning more about each other, learning more about the opportunities that we have in front of us, and really providing people with the tools and the opportunities to bring their dreams, their visions, their hopes, and their aspirations to life. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Beth. That's greatly appreciated and inspiring words, and incredibly exciting, not only for our city, for the University of Calgary, but also for our province. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our formal program. We're going to take some photos, and then Minister Orr, and I'm sure our guests, would be happy to take any questions at that point in time. Thank you. looking here, smiling. Good. Mark, you looking here. Good. Great. Thank you.
suggestion, Beth?
Yeah.
Come here, over there.
Sure.
Just as an okay. Yep, I'm on yes.
We're good. Great. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. Is that everything?
I know, they're smiling under a mask.
Yeah. You can tell in the eyes.
Irish eyes.
Always in the eyes.
Okay, so now we can start the scrum. As I'm aware, there's no questions on the line currently, but if there is anyone who would like to ask a question, there's a microphone to my left and your right, so please feel free to line up. Going once, going twice. No questions today. Okay, everyone, thank you so much and have a great afternoon.